And bam, we're live.
Dang!
Wow.
You tried to sneak it in there, didn't you?
That'll be good.
What's up, guys? Welcome. Sevan is he's doing his thing. He's getting a swerve on. Oh, a little handsome.
That does not look like Hiller at all.
Not at all. It's close enough.
Yeah. What's up, dude?
Oh, not much. Hey, baby, come say hi. How are you guys?
Looking good, man.
Just, trying to be dad fit over here,
You get better looking every time I see you.
Yeah, I got hope after seeing how the Dos Equis aged and Antonio Banderas. I'm like,
Yeah, you're right at Desperado.
they're saying I'm aging
Right now.
well.
You're not aging.
That's what I said, right?
That's what I mean. Well, you're aging well. You're not aging. You're aging well.
Benjamin Button over there. Miranda, are you getting ready to do the workout?
I'm gonna do it after them.
Oh, okay. Who's going at the same time? What's the setup there? What do you got going on?
We have wall walk space for 2 people to go at once.
Okay, awesome. So who's going?
Andrew and Julian.
Oh,
Oh,
fantastic.
dang.
Oh,
Here we go. Okay, so
Right.
place your bets now for the time difference between the two of them there.
Yeah, it's
I was
gonna
gonna
be
say,
great.
like, what are we betting on?
Wow.
I got to judge.
Hiller versus Julian?
Who's judging Hiller?
Crazy.
Chelsea. Make Chelsea do it.
Yeah, Kelsey.
Oh, you got to no rep at least one.
Who is that? Kelsey or Chelsea?
Chelsea.
Chelsea. Can we bring Chelsea up here real quick? Could she say hi?
Yeah. Chelsea, I want to meet you.
We got to
So
see who's
Chelsea,
going
you'll
to
recognize, was a high-level regional athlete. Chelsea,
Oh, what's up?
over here.
Oh, hey.
What's going on?
She's one of our coaches. She just she got through the strict handstand push-ups and the double unders. How far along are you, Chelsea? 17 weeks pregnant.
Oh, wow.
Amazing.
Okay.
Amazing. So, Miranda, you'll have to ask her, is she going to purposely just no rep the shit out
At
of
least
Hiller?
once, right?
Yeah, just to vindicate everybody who he's going after.
At least once.
So, what are
Did
you?
Hiller clean his video screen with his nut sack? Like, what is going on with this video?
It does look like Hiller's nuts.
Oh, perfect.
Boom.
Oh.
Oh, wow.
Let's go.
That's a lot better.
Was
That's
greasy
almost like professionals.
hands.
He's
We're
not
like
a
80.
professional.
Yeah, we're like 80% of the way there now. Let's see him measure. Okay, so what's going on right now? How far away from the start time
you guys
are
almost
these
done,
guys
right?
Yeah, we're like,
Julian doesn't warm up.
at?
Strong work, Julian. That's the way to do it as you get older.
Round one, baby.
Warming up's for babies. That's right. Round 1 is a warm up.
I mean,
Okay, so let's bring can Hiller come over here and talk real quick?
Oh, they
'Cause
want
he's
to
right
talk
around.
to you.
I just want to ask a question. No, you could say too, Miranda. We need some eye candy on here. Come on back. Please don't let her take up the whole thing. All right, so Hiller, do you have a strategy going into this? Did you watch 2 questions? Did you watch the event before this, and do you have a strategy based
I
on
did not watch the event. I've looked through the standards quite a bit, and the strategy is to not die on the strict handstand push-ups that close to the wall.
Right.
Oh,
They
wow.
feel awfully close.
I didn't
And
think
that's
about
really
that.
all the only strategy I've got.
You can just put your thumbs right on the edge of the tape, correct?
Well, we're on a dollar mat. That if I were to do that, then I'm kind of off the sides of it. It's almost as if I'm grabbing onto it.
Fuck it, do that.
How much different is the standard now? What do you mean closer to the wall? How much closer?
It's 10. So before the standard was a square, and I
Right.
believe it was a 24-inch depth. So you
Right.
could have your hands as far out as 24 inches, and now your hands have to be on top of the 10-inch tape line that you use for the wall walks, and it has to be 30 inches in
We're gonna
width.
start up if that's cool.
So you can't have your hands wider than the 30 inches.
Yeah, you guys go do your thing.
Yeah, rock
right.
it out.
Which is a trip. That seems like such a weird. Like, how
was
the hell do you
interesting,
come
yeah.
up with that
It was
standard?
very
You know what I
interesting.
mean?
It didn't really make them harder for me. I did the workout a couple hours ago, and I felt like it was pretty normal. If I put my thumbs on the edge of the tape line, it felt like my normal width, and still within the 40-inch, I believe, or 36-inch like typical square.
Where were you as far as the depth though? Like, how did
10
that
inches.
change for you?
Yeah.
No, I know it is
Oh.
that, but are you normally at 10 inches, or did that put you closer to the wall?
It put me a little closer. I probably go like 12 or 13, so it wasn't that big of a difference. And when I was warming up, I fell off a couple times, but in the workout, I was fine.
Okay.
Are we all in like the Illuminati wearing black shirts right now? What's going
Yeah.
on?
No.
Yes, I was just
We
going
are.
to address that. Sevan has been kidnapped by us, the guys in the black shirt, and I am
Hold
the
on.
captain now. I'll be back though shortly.
Have you seen that movie Downsize with Matt Damon?
Oh no, we
Yes.
can't fucking talk about movie quotes. Sevan will kill me if I let you go to movie.
No,
quotes.
just listen.
5 minutes
I
into the show.
imagine Sevan is like a real life downsized guy.
All right, hold on. We got Hiller starting
He's
here.
a fun size.
Okay, so
Okay.
here we go. So he's doing his first wall walk here.
Did you guys see how Danielle was doing that kip up? Actually, they both kind of were, but Danielle was like popping her feet all the way up to the wall.
Yeah.
What do you
I
mean by popping?
I don't like that.
So like
up.
she doesn't step up. You can see how Andrew's stepping. Watch his
Yeah.
one leg goes up. She would like raise her chest up and then pop her feet up to the wall, kind of like if you're popping up on a burpee.
Yeah, they jump. Her and Mal both were jumping both feet up.
Yeah.
I see a lot of the training think tank guys do that, and I've seen a lot of women do it. For me, it just doesn't feel natural. I feel like I get more momentum up the wall if I step one foot up. Follow
Like a
with the
big
other.
step, right?
Yeah, huge step.
Same way. I agree. I mean, it seems that it takes. Maybe it's not as fast, but being that you
I don't
only
know.
have
Yeah.
5 of them, like I would rather
Yeah.
save my shoulders
Yeah.
and take that big step and just lock out. So it's more of a lockout rather than a walkout.
I'm really fast at wall walks, and even the step up is super fast for me. I think.
Do you think you have to go super fast at these wall walks?
No,
if you even have
no.
a shot
I
at
don't
finishing?
think at all. Like that was one of the big things I felt after the workout is I didn't need to go as fast as I did on the wall walks. It just gets your heart rate up, and any time you make up is potentially lost on your rests during the strict handstand push-ups.
How is Hiller working
Muscle.
out?
Look at that muscle snatch versus a power snatch.
I power snatch like Julian.
That's specifically cahormones.com. Go to cahormones.com and you too will have no reason to rebend your knees.
Unless it's a thruster, maybe. But
JR, brother. Oh, hey.
Hey.
JR, brother, how you doing? I barely saw you sneak in there. How are you?
I'm good, man. Yeah, I was just up at the gym taping a bunch of stations for the handstand push-ups tomorrow.
did you
and the
make-
wall walks?
Did you make 930-inch strips of tape?
Actually, Zach, one of the coaches at my gym, made a stencil out of cardboard that was exactly 10 inches away from the back edge and exactly 30 inches wide. So we just put the stencil down, took the 2-inch tape, covered the stencil, cut it out, and then just kept going. It was
Yeah.
One thing I was going to say that I messed with the standard a little bit earlier on the strict handstand push-ups, and like I'm going to tell all my athletes tomorrow, I think you're one of two people. You either do what Taylor did and you put thumbs on the tape, and for me, I was actually outside the 40-inch width allowance with my fingertips. So you either go thumbs on the tape, that means you're wider, but you're also closer to the wall, or you go like index finger on the tape. It moves you back and in so that you're farther away from the wall, but you're also more narrow. I'm way more comfortable, more narrow, just more of a tricep dominant movement than a shoulder because my shoulders are really weak.
How much will athletes struggle with this? You think that'll be a big factor here?
I think to me, and I don't know if you guys have already said this, that standard is just a way for people to have to do wall facing without facing the wall.
Chase, you agree with that?
Well, actually, I had this question posed to me by Brian, and I would love everyone's opinion on this. Is that I think that's one, right? A twofer. On the second part, Brian actually had this assertion. He's like, looking at Boz and the wall-facing handstand pushes that we had at the games was to make people do them better. Or is this line, you guys think, another way to force people to do them better instead of this wide-armed, hands to 24 inches, piked loss of midline handstand push-up position?
I think it kept me more stacked, I think, naturally.
Like you can't
like
basically break in the midline in this tape line, and maybe and like I thought it was a great question from Brian. It's like maybe this is another way for Boz to like force people to move better.
For sure. It's not a wall facing handstand pushup, which is in a way making you get to a better shoulder position, but it's putting you in a position facing the other way that still kind of requires that.
And if you do have a heavy duty, break at the midline, you're right. It's going to knock you off because you are, for many,
so
closer than normal. Yeah. And then just like we said, JR, about like the wider you go, you're able to move yourself either in or out away from the wall a little bit. But just like Taylor said, I think the fact that it stacks you, it forces it into a better position.
Yeah, and hold on, guys. I want to make a point here. Julian just passed Hiller. Do we think Hiller came out too hot?
Very.
What do you think's going on there?
I don't know, dude. Julian was going touch and go on the 135 bar. So We'll see.
Something
Okay.
else too to look at is the feet cannot come outside the width of the hands.
Mm-hmm.
And that's something that a lot of people are bad about. And I think just putting them closer to the wall is going to make them want to put their feet out even wider.
Now, is that new? I thought that was always the deal. Didn't they always have the feet always had to stay in within the width of the box?
Yes.
Yeah.
It usually is, yeah.
I actually, with my hands, I like turn them like this, and the edge of the tape line was probably in the crease of my hand. So I didn't have like thumbs at the edge of the tape line. It was more like right here. So I was probably somewhere in between, JR, what you were talking about, those two extremes of fingertips and thumb tips.
Let's see something. Let's check it. Hey, Miranda, can you hear us?
Yeah.
What do you think? Is Hiller just falling off the wagon right now? Did he just blow his load? And
I don't
Yeah,
know.
he
To
sucks.
be honest, I haven't been paying attention to him.
I would say right now,
Either
If
have
tho-
we, it's fine. We've been talking
if
about
those
the
were
standards.
if his were on Instagram, he would be shred. There would be dotted lines from his hands to his feet and saying that they're outside his feet, outside his hands.
Oh,
Guaranteed.
Oh, the feet are too wide.
Yeah.
They said your feet are too wide.
What?
Go ahead and take away all his reps. Let him know he's at 1 here.
So for everyone watching at home too, this is like kind of what I thought, that the 6 to 9 minute mark is going to be kind of a time warp. Most people are going to need at least 90 seconds for the 9 at 185. So if you don't have at least a 2-minute buffer, probably a 2.5 minute buffer picking up the jump rope, it's going to be tough for you to get inside that 9 minute.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
and how?
95 after that is no joke.
That's what I was gonna say. What do you guys think? And Taylor, we'll go to you here. What do you think that 185 bar is gonna feel like coming off these strict handstand push-ups and all that other work before it?
I think the first rep is the hardest.
Was this 9?
Justin B. These live Hiller workouts are my favorite things you guys have done.
Oh,
LL.
yep. First rep, the hardest.
So we
Matt
started at
has seamlessly
6:30.
replaced Sevan. Thank you, Justin B. All right, what did you say, JR? Say it again. I was giving myself a pat on the back.
So we started the snatches at 6:30 and missed the first, which is probably just a fluke miss.
Okay, I've seen him set up here again.
That's shoulder fatigue right there, man. I don't think people give that 20 handstand push-ups enough respect.
He's also not pulling the bar super high. Like, it looks like he's got to get really deep under it. Like, watch.
Here we go.
There it is.
There it
There's a
is.
squat
Okay,
snatch.
so-
Wow. Squat snatch already.
Miranda, how often do you
I
guys
wouldn't.
squat snatch heavy? Is this a factor of just acclimating to this weight, or is that the fatigue settling
No,
in?
you wouldn't ever see that weight in like one of our daily workouts. We have lifting workouts. I would say Julian's lifted this much once every 2-3 months.
Did he just answer us? Did he just answer us?
No, that was Selby.
Okay. I was like, wow.
That's so baller.
Mid
Like
squat
every
stuff.
once in a while on a Saturday, he'll throw some Olympic lifting work, but like we really don't lift. I mean, yeah.
And how's Hiller doing over there? Is he still on 1?
No, what number is he on? 13.
13. Okay. So this is the determining factor. If you do make it past that 6-minute mark, these strict handstand push-ups are going to be no joke, right? Bill, how many people you think are going to get here and just stare at the wall for a while?
Honestly, a vast majority. They may get part way through it, but I think it is going to bury a lot of people because I don't think that they're going to regulate the shoulder work on the wall walks or even on the snatch. They're going to think they're going to be going, I need time, so I need to go fast on the snatches, which is going to just bury them for these handstand push-ups. They're going to get up and do one and just crumble, like a la Hiller right there.
And right on cue. So we just saw Julian now. He just passed it with about, 45 seconds left before that time cap. Hiller's got about 20, coming up on 20 seconds left here. And we still have the dubs plus the 185 snatch. So it looks like this will be the end of his open workout. How much of a factor how many people do we think is actually going to move past that 6-minute mark? Is that aggressive, JR? In your gym, you got a lot of different, capacities going through with all your members. How many of them realistically are looking at the strict handstand push-ups?
Probably 30 to 40 members.
Out of how many?
Yeah, give us a percentage.
I'm saying of the people that signed up for it, out of
So
100.
50% of your people, 30%?
Okay, he got
yeah,
15.
probably 30 to 40% of the
JR
people that
has the
signed up.
fittest gym ever.
Hold on one second. Miranda, what was that? Can you say that again?
Taylor finished with 15 handstand push-ups. Here's the funny part that you guys didn't see. His judge, Chelsea, she's 17 weeks pregnant. She beat him.
Oh. We're going to have to, Caleb, let's cut that out because it's not going to do it with our CA hormones commercial. So we'll just do it that.
So he started the set of 20. He started the set of 20 at 8 30.
Already.
So
And
we're
now
at
he's
90
looking down
seconds right there.
So going back to what you're saying, 30 or 40, what percentage of that is the gym, and how many people are, should be preparing for the strict handstand push-ups versus just game planning the 135 snatch?
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna tell all but probably 20 of my members that for them this workout is just 2 rounds for time, 6-minute cap, and then after that, get to the wall and see what you can do. Unless you know that you can get to the wall and get handstand push-ups, there's no need to pace it.
Taylor, you agree?
Yeah. I mean, it's JR's strategy tips I feel like it's tough because and this isn't like a knock at all. It's impressive how fit his gym population is. It's insane.
Chase, who are you waving at there?
I was saying hi to Cheeky.
Oh, I thought you were trying to get my attention as if you had something going on there.
Well,
Okay, so
I did see this comment earlier. I'm going back to that line. I think it was Kiefer that put this up. It says, could this line also be the line for one day doing wall facing handstand push-ups? Like your palms must be touching the line in some capacity in front of. Oh yeah, there it is.
Yeah, I think that's a really cool point, and I'm going to be honest. I went through the standards to see, and I was going to tell Hiller, hey, it doesn't say in here you have to be facing out. Do them wall facing, because it's going to actually be easier to do them wall facing if the edge of your palms is on that tape line for some people than maybe facing the other way. But it says in the rules that heels have to be on the wall, so they kind of took care of that. Yeah.
Okay, so we got
Uncommon
Julian going
movement,
here
uncommon
for his,
movement clause.
Come on, bro.
225 first setup.
Drive into it.
20 seconds. Huh?
What's crazy is that this,
You get one.
like the way Mal made this workout look earlier, the way that she just, hammered all the way through, didn't even need the last 3 minutes. You know what I mean? So you have games level version, then you have high end level version here, like with Julian, into just like you were talking about, JR, that the vast majority is going to be at that 6-minute mark. So it's going to be like the handstands aren't even really going to happen. It's going to be what can you do with the wall walks and the lightweight snatches.
Good job, boys.
Great job, gentlemen. Way to work. Hello, talk to us, brother. How you doing?
I'm good.
I bet you are. You've been resting for like 8 minutes.
I'm bringing up the Hi guys, how'd that snatch feel?
It really catches you off guard. I would say, unless you're like extremely efficient, because like my shoulders are completely shot after those strict handstand push-ups, so that exposed definitely weakness in my snatching, and that combo is rough. So break up early is very appropriate, and you have to. Once I overcame that 185 and allowed my body to relax, I was able to speed up the cycle rate on those 185. But knowing that I was going to hit the 225 again, I'm not going to lie, it definitely scares you. So break up the strict handstand push-ups on that first set into like threes. The double unders, break those up as well to relax the shoulders a bit, and expect a big drive on that hip extension on that first snatch, and like approach it sooner than you think, because it's just a mental hurdle you're going to have to overcome.
Go ahead, Bill. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, what was your pacing on the wall walks in the beginning? Those first 2 rounds, because it seems like that's going to definitely it can do a lot of damage if you're not paced right. Like once you get towards that red, then you're going to have a hard time coming out of there. So what were you thinking that when you were doing the wall walks? Were you trying to keep yourself
So for me,
paced?
we do wall walks often in street parking, so I knew I was going to get to the 185 snatch. Like that was not, and even the 25 to be honest, because my shoulders is one of my stronger abilities when I was competing. So if you go back and watch my pacing on the wall walk, I was deliberately slow. Like I didn't let Taylor speak because his approach was different, right? He knew that the strict handstand push-up was going to be the rough sticking point for him. For me, that wasn't. And so I went smooth on the wall walk. I would say on the second round of wall walks is where it's going to get you, it's going to hit hard, because after you do the first 2 or 3, you realize how fatigued your shoulders are, because everybody's going to come out really tense and excited to beat that 6-minute window. the sooner you allow yourself to relax, the more it's going to work to your advantage.
Did that new standard play a role in it? Sorry to cut you out. Did that new handstand push-up play a factor in there, or the standard play a factor in that?
I think it will if you're not confident in your handstand push-ups. If you struggle with it and already if things have to be perfect for you on your setup and your positioning, then it might throw people off. But if you know, hey, this is not a sticking point for me, no matter how I have to adjust my positioning, it's not, if that makes any sense.
We had some speculation that Adrian kind of dropped that in there to force some virtuosity in the movement, to make you do the same thing we've all done, but a little bit better in a better position. Would you agree with that statement? Did you feel that in there at all?
Okay, this is the first time hearing the statement, but yes, I would agree with if you are so comfortable and you're so used to doing it a certain way and you don't challenge yourself by same thing with a muscle up. It's not always going to have to be getting that perfect false grip, right? It's you have to pretty much just jump up to the rings and get it done, no matter the positioning you're in. And over volume and over time, as a confident individual, that doesn't really throw you off so much. Same thing with this. If you're an individual that's used to performing it a certain way and you don't challenge it under fatigue and under that stimulus, it's going to really throw a wrench into people's ability to knock that section out. But again, if you have been exposed to it, you're used to quickly just jumping up from one movement to the next, it's not going to, because fundamentally, if your positioning is always dialed in, where you move your hands, it's not going to make too much of an impact unless it's a dramatic shift.
And now the big question, the thing we really want to know, why the hell is Hiller at your house right now? What did you just find him in a homeless encampment or something and drove by and he was making a video on somebody and just picked him up in a van, or?
We've said too much.
Okay, fair enough.
But yeah, for those of you guys watching, you have to be confident in your own ability. So if you're not a confident snatcher, break up the other movements and expect to go singles on the snatches. If you're not a confident wall walker, slow it down there, pick up pace on the other sections. So that's it.
Awesome. Well, your connection's petering out just like Hiller did in the workout. So thanks, brother. We appreciate it. If you want to jump on, I got to find some place to put some.
Hey, I'm glad we made it to the 12-minute mark. So that's what that looks like, going to 12 minutes. So
awesome job. Thank you.
It was good to see you guys. Yeah.
Great job, guys.
You did fantastic. You did fantastic. Just want to address a couple of these here. Philip, I'm not even going to try your last name because then I'm going to mispronounce it 4 times, and I'm really going to be accused of copying Sevan here. So do you guys think the next progression is wall walks with handstand push-ups at the top? Chase, what do you think?
Ooh, I would like to see maybe a wall-facing handstand push-up prior to the combo of the two. But I think we'll see that coming. We said that, I can't remember what podcast we were talking about this, but JR asked this, is you see this trend, and obviously Oz tends to try to buck these trends, but it's you shot across the bow at the game. So semifinal athletes get ready to do wall-facing handstand push-ups. It happens at semifinals, quarterfinals, get ready to see that. Once it trickles down to there, maybe, right?
Yeah.
Hiller, I think we have a while till then.
I think, is Hiller judging now? Hiller, are you going to be a judge now? Is that what's happening? Okay. Awesome. Great thing. Wad Zombie here. Dad strength is greater than TR. Okay, you're killing us on the sponsors, and I'm gonna be fired on the first show. Stefan Kneebender, do your pace all depends on where you think you will get to. Don't race to a movement. Just take a ton of breaks.
Real pro there. Real pro tip.
You agree with that, Taylor?
Yeah.
Is that your pro tip?
Are you talking to me?
Yeah. Pro tip is, where was that? Can you pull that back up?
Yeah.
Pro tip is do handstand push-ups.
Pro tip is take a ton of break.
Take a what?
Perfect. Okay. Hiller, what's going on, dude? How was that workout for you?
I mitigate the damage on the handstand push-ups, and I didn't do the best job. Actually, the only way I would have done better is having practiced them for the past couple of months.
When was the last time you did a strict handstand push-up, other than a few minutes ago?
2 months ago? 3 months ago? It's been a bit.
Perfect. Did the new standard mess with you at all? Did you have to adapt to that?
It's certainly worse if you're not already good at them. Or like, I think there's just people who are better pressers than others, and there's also people who work on pressing the way you're supposed to be pressing, like Julian said, maybe like you said about virtuosity. And I've only come so far in the past, and I've definitely stopped working on it in the present.
Fair enough. So did any of you guys watch today's event? Jared, did you watch Danielle and Mal get after it?
Yeah, I'll watch it.
I'm going to go
later. Thank you, Hiller. Bye. Thank you. I wonder what he's doing there.
I want to know what he's doing too.
What do you guys think he's doing there now that they're not here and we could talk?
It's a natty or not for Miranda, obviously.
They're
We've been
probably,
waiting for this one since she started CrossFit. Remember, guys?
Hiller's probably going to make a street parking video on how the Open didn't go so well. Too soon.
On that last piece of it there. So JR, sorry about that. Going back to that, Danielle and Mal, what were you impressed? What'd that look like to you?
Yeah, I mean, I would love to know, like, and this is something maybe we can ask Boz about if we get him back on, is like a lot of people ask about the testing of the games workouts and either who tested them or like how many times they were tested, if the females went faster than the males, et cetera, et cetera. And like just thinking about 2007 Reload, everyone thought the weight was way too light for the women. And then what happened? Tia failed her last rep, Matt failed his last rep, and it couldn't have looked any worse for everyone that thought that the loading was off. So just watching them do it, I'm watching them hit 125 and it's 185, 125. And I'm like, that's how my 135 snatches are going to look. That's exactly how they're going to look. There's going to be a little redip and that's it. And I'm wondering in testing, how did the males do comparatively to the females? And is that how Boz arrived at the fact, well, hey, it really looked like everyone that we tested, the straight handstand push-ups just caught up a little bit quicker for the females. So we decided to have the loading up to 225, 155 or 185, 125 and not 185, 135, 225, 165. And it'll be interesting. I mean, all these guys can weigh in. The fastest time in the world, does it come from Mal? Does it come from a male? Does it come from a female? What do you think?
Yeah. Do you guys agree with that? So the weight's been heavier, or do you think it's balanced for the two movements?
That third weight, I think, throws it. Especially for the high end ladies, 125 on the snatch for them, I think it's too light. It's not the same as the 185 for the men. Mal's time was unbelievable.
Yeah.
She made that 155 look completely comfortable. You know,
I think there'll be men that for sure beat the top women's time.
Chase, you agree with this?
Hot take.
Yeah, the 125 is a little bit of an outlier. I agree. I'm looking at more of open stuff. Like the lens I grade the programming with and the weights they use and the skills they use are relegated to the competition that we're holding and the purpose of it. So if we're getting top 10% through, we want more people to play in a sense, then okay. Do I want to see this at quarterfinals? No. Do I want to see this at semifinals? God, no. Right? Has no business to be at the CrossFit Games. Yes, they should have heavier weights. They've proven over time that they are the women are just getting stronger and faster and better than they've ever been before. In the Open, based off what we're trying to do, I don't have as much of a problem with. I'm actually surprised they used the other weights more than I'm surprised about the 125.
Really? What do you mean?
I mean the overall set of
I
weights?
was ready for 65, 85, 25, 45. That's what we've been used to. If anything, this is the heaviest they've used consistently for the women. So that's actually the outlier that I see.
Wasn't that the same set that they used though for the pull-up snatch open event?
It was actually
16?
it was
It went up
no,
to 265, didn't it?
Yeah,
No,
it did.
yeah.
I think
for men, and it was 185 for women, 245, 175, 225, 155. So the women's weights were 95.
Yep.
125, 155, 175, 185. Actually programmed that for my
No, they
people.
actually 2017, 17.3. Is that what you guys are talking about?
Yeah.
65, 95, 135, 155, 175, 185. So they used 135 back then.
Yeah.
So we're
Again, we were going to regionals.
and that makes a difference
Going
in
to
the quarterfinals. Right. Barry Mike Hawkener which is just funny to say now that we get the joke and I'm all on the same page.
And I'm so embarrassed. It took so
Yes,
long.
yeah, me and you both. Yes, I did get promoted to CEO, and Caleb is right here doing just fine, saving my ass, bringing some stuff up soon here. Okay,
Zachary, I'm not a politician. If you listen to my last podcast going over the programming for 23-2-A, brother.
Oh, is someone taking some shots at you, Chase? I got some.
Oh, I'm just not, I let other people take harder takes, and I just take what I believe in. So,
hey, what do you guys think about instead of having the run up of the way it was set up? Because the way that Danielle and Mal made it look was having a build up time where we can, bank time. It wasn't even needed for that level. What if they just said, okay, it's going to be 10 minutes and here's the set, you get as far as you can? Like it better, or is that worse because you're having the general CrossFit member going more than 6 minutes now as they're trying to work on? Does it give them more of a chance to play, or does it?
Oh, you mean like a 12-minute cap?
Instead of 10, like lower the time down, bring the time down. So it's a 10-minute cap, say. But now everybody gets that same 10 minutes of work rather than just the low end will get the 6, the high end. Well, I mean, what Mal gets? You got like 8, just under 8.
Yeah.
Yeah, was that our time? Taylor, what do you think?
About Mal getting 8 or leaving the workout as 10 minutes instead
leaving
of
the workout open so people could get more playtime?
It is. It's short.
Would it force a race? Would it force more of a race? Do you think? Because there is an end to it. Actually, for anybody, even the more general CrossFitter, would it force more of a race for them because now they're going to be able to hang into it?
I don't think that has as much of a bearing or plays much of a difference for the top, but I feel like it would make more of a difference for the general pop. And I don't know that people want 4 minutes or 3 minutes or 2 minutes to stare at strict handstand push-ups and not be able to do them, or at least that's why I see Boz programming it that way. But 6 minutes is really short, super short.
And I mean, when I'm looking at this too, I'm probably overly analytical about what has he shown us that he thinks is important. At the games, he did things that forced your pace for you. You didn't get to choose. You had to row at this pace. You had to go hard on the row in the last chance qualifier, or you didn't have enough time to get enough handstand walk reps to win. So you couldn't pace the row. So maybe this is just his way of just saying, no. The game is not you get 10 minutes, pace it out how you want so that you can get as many reps as you can. It's just you only get 6 minutes. So you have to go at an uncomfortable pace. And so maybe this is just him sticking true to his guns.
He's pushing effort over everything else. He doesn't want to leave a lot of room for gaming and strategy. He just wants there to be straight up capacity.
Forcing intensity, maybe.
I mean, I do know. They do need a short one, and they do need more of an intensity, a shorter intensity. I'm all for that. I'm not saying that it would be better. I was purely just asking what you guys thought about that. I like the fact that if you put the general group, you're talking your general pop people, they're going to be at 6 minutes because that's all as far as they're going to get. Then you're going to have other people that the furthest they're going to go is 9 minutes, and you're going to have your good athletes. It'll be right at about 9 minutes. So you're getting everyone that's working at about that time frame. But it does, you're right, push the pace a little bit on the general pop, especially at that 6 minutes. I just wondered if you thought, I don't know, give them a little bit more time to play, kind of a thing. Was more than anything was all I was just kind of.
Go ahead, Taylor. Go.
I also don't know that you can say he really places that much of an emphasis on effort over everything when last week we found that people could just walk the shuttle runs and get a better score. That was probably unforeseen on his part, but that rubs me the wrong way. So I don't know.
You think that bothered him? Did you guys see the statement he made at the beginning?
What statement did he make?
He just basically was saying like, hey, we're looking for effort here. I'm not looking for the gaming and strategy, which I thought was pretty funny after, of course.
And he said that before the
open announcement today.
Oh, yeah.
So you think he knew people would walk the shuttles?
I don't think so. No, I think that just came as an unintended consequence of it. But I think he likes to go right to this one next, where it forces you to work hard in the 6 minutes. Yeah. And it's a good balance to the two as well, right?
There's a guy at my gym that tied Patrick Vellner's score walking, and he is not fitter than Patrick Vellner or anywhere near as close as fit as Patrick Vellner.
What I like about the 6 minutes, Bill, is that, I mean, we've talked about this before, is like Boz will shorten time caps to force intensity, like a pressure cooker. And how many times do we sit in your affiliate with a group class workout and they're like, hey, this is only a 5-minute workout? I'm like, yes. And it's going to
go fast.
And so you're showing people, it's like, we don't need 15 to 20 minute tests every week to have a good test. And so forcing the issue of 6 minutes, I think, may be a part of the balance of modalities and time domains and intensity, where it's like, hey, guess what you're going to do? You're going to go 10 wall walks as fast as you can, 100 double unders, and basically grace with half the weight and then the actual weight. And you're going to send it just to get to the wall. And if you do that, I doubt anyone can sit back and go, that was a waste of my time.
Yeah, for sure not. And I agree. I think that's actually one of the hardest things to teach in an affiliate is teach people to go fast for a really short period of time. The heavy day and the short day. Yeah, hardest things to teach.
It's the hardest thing to scale. It's the hardest thing to program. It's the hardest thing to modify. But for 15 people in your class, it's really easy to be like, hey, guys, we're doing Murph. Everybody go. Yeah. Right. But to get the right stimulus for a 5-minute test is really hard to do. And so maybe this is one of those, is like, get it right. If you want to make it, you're going to have to put yourself in a very uncomfortable position to get there. And maybe that's one of those shorter tests that people just don't think is valuable because everybody wants to go long and high volume.
I by no reason said it wasn't valuable. But
no.
I was
saying in general for people that just don't understand what I'm talking about.
But I do like the fact that they hang the carrot out there of, if you can make it, you get to advance to this new room of, you get to do, it's strict handstand push-ups and heavier snatch. Congratulations, you get to go all the way out there. Nice job. And I mean, because I think that there will be anyone that gets past that 6-minute mark. That is going to be, for some, I think, especially like the gen population that we have in the gym. If they can get past that and even get one strict handstand push-up, that is going to be there's a large separator for a lot of people just in that general group. And I think just within the gym population, the gym community, that'll be a badge of honor. So it is cool, and you do get to rush to that because you'll rush and get 2 strict handstand push-ups. Right on. So I agree. I do think it's cool. I do know that we needed a faster event. We needed one. And I can see that there's a good way to do it. And like I said, with Mal getting that, 8 minutes.
Yeah, she smoked that.
She basically did what everyone else was going to be doing at 6 minutes. You know what I mean? Like, everyone got to work in the same time domain on that.
Yeah.
I wonder too if, like, because Sousa, Bill, and you guys are gym owners. Chase was. Taylor's basically a gym owner. He's there all the time. This is recipe for redo city. Like, this is like, this is for sure a 2 or 3er, like, for a lot of people. And not just because it's the last week of the Open and they want to get into quarters or they want to qualify for other competitions that use the Open leaderboard as their qualifier, but like, this is going to be one, and it's going to be entertaining because they're going to get to the round of 12 snatches and they're going to get 9. And they're like, oh, I'm going to redo that again because I can get strict handstand push-ups. I can do them. I just need time. It's like, okay, so what does that mean? Like, well, I just need to do 3. I was like, all right, how long does that take you? Probably 15 to 30 seconds. Okay, where are you going to find that? To get more time, you're going to have to hurt more.
Right.
Or do something faster. And that's so easy for people just to say, I'm going to redo it and get 3 more reps. I get 3 more reps. I can get all the handstand push-ups and all the double unders again. So that's 70 more reps on the leaderboard. But like 3 snatches at whatever weight you're at, that's so much time that people just don't understand.
Do you think that's wise, though? Can somebody repeat this 3 times in just a short time period? Or is at that point fatigue's going to set and they'll be done, right?
No. It's going to be one of those teaching moments for coaches, I think, to try to
definitely not smart, but there are going to be a lot of people that do it.
Well, I think it's going to be a twofold teaching moment because, as we just talked about, we have to now sell that 6-minute workout because you guys know how many members are going to come up and say, oh, this is it on the last one. I'm not even going to, and you're going to have to play that game a little bit. And then on top of that, you're also going to have to teach like, hey, you're not going to be able to do this 3 times in a weekend and improve your score for those 3 snatches.
Do you affiliate, you, Matt, and even you, JR, like, do you guys push the RX setup or do you push the scale setup for anybody?
In the Open, I push the RX setup. I like to see people get that. I mean, it might be your first time snatching 65 pounds, right? Or it might be your first double under that you get. And we always say like, hey, 1 rep at RX, it puts you on top of everybody else on scale. Then when we're talking in terms of leaderboard, which we don't do year round we're training and we're being smart about our conditioning to make sure we're getting the stimulus. But during the Open, that's the time to go for it. And that's cool because you get to see all those PRs. JR, what do you think?
Yeah, for sure. And like in the brief, I'll make sure that they know, hey, like the open is a time to test yourself. So this is the only time that I'll say stand around and fight for that one strict handstand push-up before doing seated dumbbell Z press and getting a great workout. It's the only time of year I'll say that. But I will also tell them, wherever you are at 6 minutes, make it a 12-minute AMRAP, right? We record your score and you keep working. Like, because I do want people to still get a really good workout. So I'll tell them, hey, like, do 95, 65, do 135, 95. And if you don't finish it, fine. If you want to go back down to 85 and finish it out and then go up to 95 for the next round because you can do strict handstand push-ups, or if you just want to kip them, or if you want to use another scaling option, I will tell everybody, hey, if your workout's over at 6 and you want to jump into the next heat and do it scaled, do it scaled. Or if you want to just keep going to 12 minutes, keep going to 12.
Yeah,
Taylor, what are you doing? Are you doing the same thing? You agree with that approach?
We may not have people turn it into a 12-minute AMRAP, but I will push people who have the capacity potentially to RX. I feel like I give advice not so generally to the members, but more specific on each person's level and capacity. We're going to have a lot of members where RX is just, there's no shot. And some of them are going to think, hey, I should just do RX and give 4 snatches at 95 pounds. But what's the point of that in 6 minutes, in my opinion? So
what do we think? We saw Mal just absolutely dominate this workout. Is that going to be indicative of everything else in her path from this point forward? I mean, she's sitting in first place in the open right now going into this workout. After that performance there, do we think anybody is going to touch her, Chase?
Oh, see, after this week, what if Laura beats her?
She's my pick. I mean, she's my pick to win the games.
Yeah, and she looks amazing. And then not in. If she's anything like Matt, she's just starting to get ready for the season. She's probably been hammering her weaknesses. She's not maxed out on what usually she's the best at, and she's been working on other things. And yeah, I mean, she looked unreal.
And you're buying that whole not prepped to win right now? Because Frazier used to say that all the time. Oh, I won the open on accident. You buying that, or is he just BSing there? Is he actually game planned for that?
It's fucking bullshit.
With Mal?
Yeah, I don't think. Well, I think when Matt says that, he's like, he's not focused on, like, he'll do it once and then call it, right? And if he wins, he wins. Like, I don't know if Mal's repeated anything yet.
What do you think?
But I think the great thing about CrossFit is transfer of skill. And when you're training your weaknesses and to win the games, you just so happen to be really good at the open.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I remember specifically Froning in, I think it was regionals of 2013. It was the hundreds workout, 100 wall balls, 100 chest to bar pull-ups. And he specifically said, oh, I didn't test this. I just showed up on game day and did it. And I always wondered, you think there's truth to that, Bill, when he says things like that? Or you just think he's just playing a game with the whole entire field to get in everybody's head as we're approaching the games?
With the amount of volume that guy was putting in back in the day, and he was the guy that was putting in probably more volume than most, especially at that time, he didn't need to test that because he had already had that in his repertoire, because he was the guy that decided to break the 100 chest to bar into sets of 5, and no one else thought to do that. So here's the best in the world that breaks that up. He had already played with high volume pull-ups to know exactly how to break it and know how to do it. So he didn't have to do the workout ahead of time to practice it. Just like what Taylor was saying, like all of his training up to that point has set him into a place where he could go to any event, any workout that was going to come in his way and do just fine and know what sort of pace he needed to put on that.
Yeah, and Tyler Lockett, yes, I did fuck it up. Okay, thanks for pointing that out and then commenting it in. I'm trying to run the fucking show here for my first time. You could just cut me a little slack.
You're doing a great job,
dude. All right, I'm over here sweating balls. My palms are all sweaty like I'm in an airplane right now, and that's what we're rolling with. Okay, I want to know. Now we're gonna get into the real deal here. We're gonna get into the real question. Mal was there, big stage for her, first in the open. We know it's gonna be her breakout year going into the games because the gatekeeper, Miss Tia Terklumi, is not there. So what do we see? No Matt Frazier at the Open. JR, why do you think he wasn't there at the event today?
Probably got sick.
I don't know. I don't think she really needs him there to get there and take care of business. Like I don't think that he thinks that he needs to be there for her to like talk strategy or whatever. I think she's a machine and she's just going to see it and do it.
Taylor, you buying that?
I don't know where to go with that response to that question. But part of me says she's still really young and it's probably beneficial for her coach to be in her corner. You know, it didn't go wrong. She crushed it. But what if it does? And then she's there alone.
Chase, what do you think? Why isn't he there?
Oh, that's a good question. I don't know.
Bill, any speculation?
Yeah, I
Maybe
think
at the combine.
Is that
They didn't pay him to show up.
you know what, honestly, it's really interesting watching Matt with Mal because I never saw Matt in a real, I mean, he didn't need to be a coach. He was the athlete, so he was always doing his thing. And I think that there was a lot of people watching how he was going to handle Mal, especially when she came off, from her last coach into under Mal. And, it's the whole thing, like she's already good, all that kind of stuff. So I think that Matt has to find a way to not just train her in the gym, but also train her, mature her as an athlete. And maybe, this is complete speculation. Maybe he's like, okay, here's what we're going to do. You're going to take this one. You're going to figure out what the workout is, be confident in what it is, and just go. Don't worry about the outcome, whatever it ends up being, because if you did great, cool, we can build off that. If you fuck something up or if you got freaked out or whatever the case is, we have time to get you back to where you need to go. It's a safe place to take a calculated risk that you have plenty of time to fix. It's not like she doesn't have her fitness or anything like that. So who knows? Maybe that was a play. I don't know.
I guess it doesn't matter whether he was there or not, as long as she had Marconi and O'Keefe.
Patrick Clark says she wasn't alone. Marconi and O'Keefe were there, as well as her whole family. So basically, Fraser's cutting the umbilical cord. He's letting her swim out on the deep end on her own, kind of like Sevan is with me today on the show, right? And just seeing how it goes, seeing what happens, how she reacts, and how she deals with the adversity that may have come up.
Who knows?
Yeah, it could be a positive spin because Matt can't always hold her hand at the games either. So it's like, hey, how do you react to just going out there, trusting what we've done? I trust you to handle business. So like both of them aren't just like clung to each other, that they need that the entire time to be successful.
What is that? Is that a real rumor?
Yeah, there we go. Jonathan Ortega. Oh, I heard he had knee surgery. So he's hurt. He's winged. Brian, what's up, buddy?
Yeah, Brian knows.
Hello, guys.
Brian, why wasn't Matt at today's event with his shining star, Mal O'Brien?
Well, let's just say there's plenty of support for her here today.
That's not the question, though.
I know. I mean, that's his and their private business to report at their own time.
Okay, and it's mine just to dig it up and flip over a rock, so that way I have my shiny moment here.
Okay, well, even if it's, let's say he did have knee surgery, it's still a great way to set her up to be able to handle something that comes her way and be able to adjust to that. And one of the things that I think CrossFitters have to be able to do is, it's not just a 100-yard dash where you know exactly how you're going to run and where you need to go. There are going to be things that happen, and you have to be able to adjust on the fly a little bit. And so, granted, everyone's going to know what the events are. She didn't know until it got handed to her. But to be able to have the pressure cooker of the crowd, have people watching you, and that's something that as a young athlete, she needs to make sure she's prepared for it. Because if she is heir to the throne, and it does end up that way, technically speaking, she has the time frame to be up at the top for quite a while. So why not learn to deal with all of that pressure now before it really matters? Before like you really have to be under the microscope. And
I would say she absolutely crushed it, not only in performance, but if you guys watch her post interview, she is polished. She sounds very intelligent, and she's going to have a very long and wonderful career. She's a rock star. Brian, are you at the event right now?
Well, I was earlier today.
Okay, so where are you right now?
The hotel.
Okay, it looked a little sketchy when you looked around, like if you're
nervous when he's
you're being held hostage or something, buddy. Do you want to talk about it? Alex, Fraser had knee surgery. Said it in the HWPO call. Okay, so it's not a rumor; it's official. You heard it here first from the Sevan Podcast. Matt Fraser has knee surgery. Brian, what's going on? What are you doing, brother? How was the event today?
It was very fun. I had not been to one before, and a lot of people here good to catch up with, but also, I mean, and Chase knows, and anyone who's been to one knows that it is a pretty cool environment. They always say it's like incredibly loud and passionate crowd, and this was no different. The Omaha crew brought it for sure. But I also enjoyed watching the actual CrossFit team put on the event and take down the event afterwards. It was pretty cool. We stayed around for a while, and Adrian's out there, Wilson Tang's out there, Becky Harsh's out there. Then they're stripping the floor. They're pulling the tape off and picking up their the mats and packing up the bolts for the rig. And I didn't necessarily expect to see them doing that. So that was kind of a nice surprise at the end.
Truly, it's just like the good folks over at Rogue Fitness. RogueFitness.com. For this limited time, use code Souza for 20% off your order and free shipping. It's very limited. You have to go to the website and do it right now, otherwise it won't work. Brian, we talked a lot about Mal's performance here, but what do you think about Danielle? What in the world was that?
I gotta jump off. I coach early. See you guys.
Okay. Thank you, Taylor, for all your
Later, Taylor.
valuable insights. Thank you. JR didn't even say bye. He just fucking left. Thanks, dude.
He said bye in the chat.
You know what? I don't respect that at all. I want a personal face-to-face. We talked about Mal's performance quite a bit, Brian, but what about Danielle? How is she? Like, do you think that got in her head a little bit, or is that a good performance for her?
I actually spoke to her afterwards. No, she was fine. I mean, I think if anything, I think she feels like she left some time on the table just by making some kind of silly mistakes, getting some no reps she didn't need, obviously bypassing the double unders at the end to go to the barbell and do an extra rep at 155. Her and Cooper think she can probably do it about a minute faster, but either way, that's going to be a competitive time. I don't think there's going to be a ton of athletes finishing this workout. So I think it was a good performance. And, obviously people are curious about the handstand push-up standard. Like, there was a very, very limited amount of time for those 4 athletes to try to adapt to that and do it. And you guys know how the high level athletes are. If you give them 10 minutes to try something, they'll be okay at it. If you give them an hour, they'll be pretty good. If you give them 2 days, they're going to figure it out. So if she does this again 2 to 3 days from now, I'd expect her time to be 60 to 90 seconds faster.
And you think that that's worth it for her to redo that time? Is it, or you just think we're just waiting for the rest of the times to shake out?
I don't think it really matters. I mean, she's going to make it through to the next round either way. You look at someone like, like Pat Vellner last week. I'm sure that he knows he can do better on that workout than what he did in the first go at it, but he just decided there's no need to do that. So unless Danielle thinks that she can maybe do a good enough performance to get into the money, I don't really think there's any need for her to, unless she just wants to do it from either confidence perspective or to, practice that standard when she has a little bit more time to prepare for it, just in case she has to do it again.
Yeah, and Caleb just brought that up there. Was that prompted by anything? Did you guys want to talk about that standard? Caleb, do you want to bring that back up? I mean, we've already touched on it quite a bit here, Brian, earlier in the show, but is there anything with this standard that you think is the reason why it was set? We were talking earlier that Bosman was looking to push some more virtuosity in the movement and have it be a little tighter. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I called Sevan and Chase earlier and suggested that this might be him encouraging the community to, get into a little bit better position with their handstand push-ups, just like he did with the games athletes last year with the wall facing. And, 1 inch closer to the wall can make a difference, but it might actually, even though it can be frustrating at first, in the long run, it might actually pay off for people, and not just handstand push-ups, but other overhead movements, and maybe even just overall core integrity, possibly even transferring down to something as simple as the push-up. So there might be some long-term positives from this that we're not seeing at first glance.
And have you guys tried it yet yourselves?
I have not.
I haven't yet.
No. Chase, you haven't played around with it? Do a little duct tape down.
He did a one-handed handstand at the 10-inch mark.
Oh, perfect. Perfect. Yeah, I'm prepared. So, okay, Brian, anything else you want to add there with the event? Anything else going down? Anything weird happened? No, nobody suddenly dropped down to the floor or anything crazy like that at the event? Come on, we got to throw one vaccine thing in there.
No, it was a lot of fun. I was mostly just trying to observe and take it in. I did get to meet some people today that I hadn't met before, which was nice. But overall, just a fun experience, and grateful to have gotten to do it finally.
And when will you do the workout?
I think I have been running the Friday night lights at our gym, but I haven't done any of the workouts during them. So I think I'll probably jump into a heat tomorrow night.
Yeah.
There you go.
Get in
there
there.
you go.
I usually just do that at the last week.
How long are you out in Omaha for right now?
12 more hours.
Yeah, red eye.
Awesome.
The last one. What's the first one?
What's the first what?
On flights, there's like red eye and then there's a black eye. Is that
I
the
don't
last
know.
flight out? Is that the red eye?
Oh, PC has a much earlier flight than me. My flight's a reasonable time. It's at 10 a.m. So that's fine.
Oh, that's not bad at all. It's not bad at all.
Did you get a chance to? Oh, go ahead.
You want to know what I really wanted to see during that open? So they have those two ladies facing off on the double unders. I so bad wanted Danielle to just start talking shit. Hey, you looking fat over there. Hey, what's up, shorty? I mean, just anything. I thought that would have been so hysterical. I mean, like she had to turn around to ask what number she was on at one point to see how many double unders she hit. But I mean, face to face, I think that would have been so fun to watch.
That's an extra
Rubio right there.
Oh yeah. Graciano.
What's up, bro? Nice thruster.
Fan
Dang,
favorite,
dude.
Yeah, he
Stud.
absolutely crushed it. That's a great point, Bill. Brian, did you see anything back in the warm-up room, like Danielle kind of eyeing her down, or was there any shit talking, a little rousing,
little bump of the shoulder, a little elbow check,
pump fake when she walks by or something?
Honestly, it was pretty tame. They were both in good spirits yesterday. They were both in good spirits today, and just happy to be here competing. But I did take notice of that fact that they were facing each other during the double unders, and I was standing with some of the videographers for HWPO and lab management, and I was like, I wonder if there's a way to do some kind of video edit of them facing each other with a spinning camera. I mean, you'd have to prepare for it, but it's pretty rare that you're going to see people going head to head doing double unders like that, looking straight into each other's eyes. So I took note of it as well, Bill.
Man, I thought that would, I mean, and I'm not saying that those guys, I'm not trying to, make anyone a bad guy or anything like that, but I would just all of a sudden, as they're facing like that, I mean, I have members that if they're right in front of someone, they will intentionally stop their workout and move so that they're not face to face when they're lifting with some, right, eye to eye. But I just started cracking up, and that was the first thing I said right away. Oh, I wonder if someone's going to start talking shit.
Well, the question I have, and you guys know this way more because you've been involved in these open announcements, different things, and close to it. Did they plan that? Was that did they rehearse and be like, okay, you guys are going to come out, you're going to stand here and face each other, or did that just naturally happen?
I mean, they'll tell them where they're going to go.
Yeah.
But I don't think that someone in the background was like, okay, here's what we're going to do. We're going to make them stare at each other as they're doing. I mean, I don't think they would have done it like that. Because usually they're facing all the same direction, not at each other like that.
Right, forward facing the camera. But if you guys remember, what was the workout? 12.2 was it? The snatch workout where Rich and Dan faced each other and did a snatch off over in Tennessee.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right.
And that one was very intentional. They started facing each other. Right there, so
yeah.
Maybe that's Dave's sly hand reaching back in there. Brian, anything else notable at the event there? Boots on the ground?
I don't know. I mean, not really. There's a lot of CrossFit employees here, and they definitely take the production of these things very seriously. So hopefully everyone enjoyed it at home.
Well, fantastic. Anything you guys want to add about the 23.3 as we wrap this up? And I've made it across my hour mark.
I wish it was event number 1.
Really, you would like to kick off with this?
I wish this was our first one. Well, and I say that, and we've talked about some of these things, but I like what that is because, we've talked about this on our show, is that if you are going to design, especially an open style workout that has the combination of the best workout that we've ever had, that we think anyway, was the double under toe to bar, increasing weight, squat clean. And that was, I mean, just having a gymnastic, a monostructural, and a weightlifting, I think is awesome. And I mean, when I saw it, I liked what it is. I just think it's cool. I wish it would have been the first one.
Chase, how do you feel about that?
I like this a lot as far as the style of programming. And it just makes me question of why we had the thruster at all after after 22.
Oh, interesting. Interesting.
Hey, we got our open test of strength in a format that is increasing in difficulty and skill and weight. So That's the question that is rolling around my head at the moment is how I feel about the thruster, even though I already had certain feelings about the thruster to begin with.
Right.
Brian,
right,
you like the order? What are your feelings on that?
Well, more than anything, I think what Boz has really told us this year is everything you think you know about the Open, you can kind of reconsider that. 3 weeks, 3 barbells, putting the ring muscle ups in week 1, putting something that feels more like a week 1 workout in week 3, having 2 different tests of strength, both with the barbell, one that was probably more desirable than others for most people from an analysis perspective. And just kind of knowing how he is, I would expect next year's Open to look very different from this year's as well. So I kind of commend him for bringing a little bit more of the unpredictability, uncertainties. We're still going to get a good test. We're still going to get a fairly good representation of who some of the fittest people are at this point in the season. When you look at I think by the end of this week, when you look at the top 20 of the leaderboard, even though you're going to be missing some names who are, in my opinion, not really trying as hard as they could be in these workouts, there's still going to be 20 athletes there at the top of the leaderboard. You're like, yeah, if 18 to 20 of those were at the games this year, I wouldn't be that surprised by it.
I mean, we touched a lot of bases. We did.
I know a lot of people were like, well, we had toes to bar, we had muscle ups, we had pull ups, but then you say, well, we also had burpees, we had a heavy thruster, we had, strict handstand push-ups, wall walks. Like we've pressed, we've pushed, we've gone below parallel. Like we've had a decent amount of stuff in a short amount of time.
Yeah.
Me personally, I was glad it was only sets of 50 on the double unders myself, because I could be either really good at them or I could be really shitty at them. So for me, I was like, all right, 50. Okay, I could do that. That's good. Yeah. I like that number.
Yeah, we all have those days when that rope goes flying across the gym, but he just chucked it across the gym. Okay, well, awesome, guys. Thank you so much. You gentlemen have saved me.
We're here for you, man. We're here for you.
You killed
I
it.
appreciate it. And I just want to let everybody know in the chat, thank you guys so much showing up all the time and especially giving all the love. We cannot state enough, and I know Sevan talks about it, but you guys are everything to us. You are the oxygen for this podcast. Thank you. And Sevan will be back tomorrow for the show with UFC show with Darian Weeks, and then we got a affiliate series after that with Hari, New York, NYC, CrossFit NYC. Wonderful.
Sweet.
There we go. Well, thank you guys. Thank you, Brian. Thank you, Bill. Thank you, Chase.
And good stuff, Souza.
And as Sevan would say, bye-bye.